try to just pick him power and kind of leave him to his own devices, that means that an enemy jungle camp can be successful.
Certainly Canada's misfortune, the final ban there for this particular champ select. I think a lot of these champions are what we'd expect, taking those power picks off in the very early stages of the metagame. And there's Varus actually for Uzi, which is very early.
Yeah, with the MF not available, that's been almost a go-to first pick. A pick freed up for Korea. The contested AD carry support flex pick and MF banned away. Makes sense to take the Varus, but I'm sure Prey can just opt into the Jhin that has been super common for him and for this tournament. Can also look to other lanes to begin with. And Korea has been one of the few regions to still highly prize the Sejuani. Feels of the tank junglers, it still is going to be the big pick. Was at Worlds, even with the runes reforged. Still very popular.
Yeah, only other player we've really seen it is Karsa, who played it late into this tournament. And so Ambition, of course, going to take a pick that he's well known for.
And one of the reasons why I still like Sejuani in the meta is that we know there's a lot of poke champions, a lot of champions with long range. The best way to deal with those is to engage, hard engage. But if you hard engage wrong, dive in as a Malphite, for example, there's no way out. You're going to die to the focus damage on you. Sejuani doesn't have to commit to engage. Throws out the ult. If it registers, yep, we're going in. If it doesn't, you look a bit silly. People laugh at you. But you get another cooldown in 2 minutes or so and get to do it again. So the fact that you don't have to hard commit, but you get hard engage is why Sejuani is still a big prize.
Yep, makes sense there. Is not the other pick, kind of a semi-tank there for Korea. Electrocute on the other side there for MLXG and his Jarvan, and Tahm Kench, the talk of the town, unfortunately, is the third pick.
And Gorilla was playing it at the start, and ever since then, his opponent number has taken it away. Doesn't want to deal that particular one. Does Mako, so trademark of his as well, we should mention, from China. Taric, Alistar, these are the expected supports to be run into the Tahm Kench. Unexpected bans, and Faker will blind his famous Azir. I was in love with BDD's Azir at the Kesper Cup. Faker, a great Azir in his own right.
It's great, especially with Xerath and Zoe both banned away, so some of the better matchups taken off. There's Ryze, one of the bans taking that away from Xie. We'll see if another mid lane ban is to come.
Definitely an evolving matchup has been the Ryze. Has been winning the matchups against Azir more often than not. You could also ban away the Malzahar, which sounds strange. Traditionally, Azir was considered a very strong pick into Malzahar. Malzahar is that real big meta pick right now that still, even with a struggling laning phase, can hold back, and the suppression can be of high value. Don't have to ban it if you fancy yourself in the laning phase, and certainly Faker is known for that. We could see that double support ban. It could just be Taric, Alistar banned away on the blue side by China.
Again, just continuing to constrict Gorilla's champ pool. Shen ban there for Korea kind of takes away some options there for the top side at 957, who's very good on the utility type champions. China though with one more ban. I have to think it is likely support, but clearly some discussion here with exactly what pick they want to take away.
Yeah, expecting Alistar, anything else would be a surprise, and Braum,
that's a surprise.
I mean, there is poke, right? Varus is there. It also might be tilting the hand a little bit and saying, hey, we want to go for some more long range. Not a surprise in this meta, but still a big suggestion. I wonder if we'll see Vel'Koz on the blue side also because of the Braum ban and the good matchup into the Azir. Prey has been sticking with Comet only since the Kesper Cup started. He's been playing a lot of Comet AD carry. It was Ruler that was shining on the Kalista, and that pick unavailable at Worlds. He re-emerges here for Korea.
Yep, Prey will take it there again with some of those supports being taken off the board. Maybe a little less potent, but Alistar is still available for Gorilla. We'll see what he takes as the final pick, because it looks like that's where Korea want to line up this champ select. China though with 2 picks to finish here, and like you said, what do you do in the mid lane is probably the biggest question here.
Vel'Koz as well has been big. Oh my goodness, lock in of Annie. Mid lane Annie's certainly a possibility. You've already mentioned at this tournament, Mako, a famous Annie support player. And in top lane makes sense. It looks like a mid lane Annie.
I mean, you know who's a famous Annie mid lane player in China? It's actually Xie. He was an Annie one trick coming up through solo queue.
I wonder what Faker makes of this. Annie doesn't have the longest range. The Malzahar lock here would throw things into disarray. Top lane Tahm Kench could very much be the story. We're going to have to wait and see. Go's going to straddle the line, just go for pure lane presence. I don't know what's going on here, but Kalista Thresh, anyone who's played solo queue knows what this lane is all about. It's not dying.
Gorilla's like, you know what, Alistar's lane presence, not great. As it turns out, maybe just take something a little more robust. But certainly some mind games being played here in this very first draft. Gorilla, though, I think, again, just taking some time. No, actually, a late swap to Alistar once he engaged instead.
The Rift Rivals special, and these two were the Rift Rivals finalists, China versus Korea, the Kalistar, as it's known as super hard engage. As Alistar, you can play right as forward as possible and go from there. Okay, we're actually going way, way back, because you'll remember, Pastime, we cast this Looper, when he was on RNG years ago, Master 3 years ago, loved Annie in the top lane Gnar. And of all matchups, he's bringing back what was considered a counter pick in 2015. This is a love letter to you and I and our time in the LPL. I mean, it's Annie top lane versus Gnar.
I mean, Annie from China is certainly a love letter to the time we used to cast. Would you like to remind the 99% of the people that haven't seen this before just how that went in the top lane?
You know, it didn't go Annie's way. No. Everyone was super sure about it, and more often than not, the Gnar with the long-range auto attack just disengaged, stayed back, and things weren't as pretty as it was on paper. You hit level 6, your jungler comes, there's a lot of kill pressure on Mini Gnar, especially the Firefox. He's pulling one over on us. He's really opening up those 2015 notes from many tournaments ago and going for the old counter pick.
Well, you know what? It's a best of 3, so might as well get one game in. You know, if you're going to steal a game, this is a good one to steal here. Annie top lane for 957.
You and I stay away for years, don't cast together. We come together, and the first game, it's Annie versus Gnar. Could it be pastry time?
You know, it probably is. I hope Firefox knows that we're here and is at least doing us a little fan service. Certainly for the LPL fans out in the audience, a lot of love here for them, and certainly some service to those. The support is amazing in the arena. Not that many people can fit in here, but we've crammed them in to bring you what should be quite a spectacular best of 3. What a way to end our year, Papa Smithy.
Shaking my head. With excitement largely here, Pastry Time. This should be a really fun one, this tournament. When it started, we didn't really know what to make of it. Would be just purely the try-hard? Would it be some of the confidence? Which I was there a year ago at Barcelona with Xpeka on the Garen, for example. It's evolved to be the best of patch 723. And right here, the only big surprise is the Annie top lane. And there is still those historical data points that suggest it's a meta pick in and of itself.
Yep, certainly something that has been played before, even if it's been a while, but looks like the players are stretched out across Summoner's Rift and nothing crazy happening just yet. Looks like no poking forward for Deep Vision, but everyone just set up, and we'll have to certainly see what happens in the top side and what MLXG can get done. He is the type of player that will happily camp a player like Cuvée, and Cuvée has been without some support, it feels like, throughout this tournament. Certainly good in any sort of isolation, but if it's a 2v1 the whole first 10 minutes, it's not going to feel so good.
And that's the thing, is that even though he has the teammate at jungle, Ambition has never been a big jungler to go to the top lane. He kind of plays for himself. It's not even mid lane that he plays for. He has his hand in the cookie jar. He's looking to farm. He's looking to scale up to the late game. When you have winning lanes as Sejuani, you can go aggressive, though. Doesn't necessarily have this in every area. Depending on how top lane goes, he might have a strong top side of the map, so he might look to play around there. If it's spraying Gorilla, you never expect a jungler around there, so I imagine they're all on their own.
Well, have to see, but looks like early jungle starts just have happened. Having a quick check-in with the runes. 957 was the first place I went, as you can imagine, and it's pretty standard, kind of all the sorcery stuff with Airy, but Hextech, Flash, Traption, and Cosmic Insight, Inspiration as its secondary tree with a very sneaky flash. As MLXG, he's already up to things here in mid lane, looking to flash forward. Faker flashes away.
And exactly the trade you want to make if you're MLXG. This is the sort of matchup where you expect Faker to push up and harass the Malzahar, always pop the passive. Now his flash will be down, and until level 3 and having all skills, he won't be able to even have the ability QE out, or WQE out. Now we're going to find Ambition in the jungle.
Yeah, didn't see the ward that got put down, did check the rep, but Ambition not there. Still stunning back, is now actually going to turn it around. Blast Cone's good, Ambition is going to take it up, but they end up on the same side of MLXG. Grabs the knockups, do with the red buff. Looking to maybe able to take down the Sejuani. Ambition flashes out of the way and takes the next Blast Cone to safety.
But that does mean he will lose his red buff most likely. See what the laners will do. Cuvée is pushed up in the top lane. Faker is without flash. They have to surrender the red buff. Controlled aggression from MLXG. We've seen a lot of people push up. Mike Young, for example, playing in the enemy jungle. But this was the right time for it. We'll take the red buff, we'll back away. Advantage chime.
I think just in isolation looks a little maniac, but a very nice move overall from MLXG. It's a nice pluck from Mako to push Uzi back to safety. Guardian gonna proc again, keeping Uzi nice and safe. And given how aggressive and forward he likes to play and is playing in the lane currently, I have to think it's a pretty nice pick to support him.
And sometimes you forget that controlled aggression, smart aggression, that's the best way to play League of Legends. If you're playing aggressive and know for a fact, or at least to a very high certainty, that the enemy's not there, pushing up is right. Denying resources, creating map pressure is right. So when the timing is good, That is absolutely the right move from XG, and all Ambition can do now is be that defensive Sejuani, farming, trying to avoid skirmishes. Very different playstyle, very likely to delay his impact in the game.
Early TP back there from Xie. Does have that spell book, so could swap things around, but at least going to have some reduced cooldown on that teleport. Doesn't lose too much in lane as Faker was forced back briefly.
Malzahar is one of the big winners with the Unsealed Spellbook. You can start with heal, and if you go for a level 2 gank, if you're Ambition, you can flash, you can heal. The chance of a kill through both those summoners is very low. First back, teleport, even pre-8 minutes. Happily can get back into lane. In the late game, when the teleport's not as valuable, Ghost Flash is for maximum mobility. I think every mage would love to have Ghost Flash in a team fight, but double mobility don't often have that opportunity. But the Unsealed Spellbook means you can have what you want at every point in the game.
MLXG though back to that top lane. 957 was recharging that stun, but Cuvée plays it safe. He still has his flash, given that most of the Korean top half does not. His Ambition's still going to have to be careful on his side of the jungle. Uzi getting aggressed on. Gorilla trying to get some damage back, but Uzi has been just the same old Uzi in this lane. He is already 10 CS and counting ahead, just playing up and denying everything he can.
And that's kind of where things fall apart for the Korea game plan of just leave Prey and Gorilla to play on their own and play top side. The top side's losing, and Prey and Gorilla, just because of the matchup, are going to have to be defensive at least early. Nice little trade onto Uzi there.
Yep, bit of shield there from Tumpkin to Keystone, but
then you follow the logic and you're like, okay, well, bot lane's not doing great, it's pushed up, that's to be expected, but the other lanes are losing as well, and 3 losing lanes is something we can't really hope to hold at every point, but now Nar has the push, so at least not 3 pushed in lanes from the Korean perspective, but so far so good for China.
Yep, seems like the plan is working. MLXG helping the top side, and then the very robust 2v2 for China holding up at least early in the matchup. MLXG back to his favorite place perhaps. Looking for Faker once more.
Looking for a command attack that would definitely cue, I should say, from Varus, which would trigger perhaps an engage hit. Knows the flash is still down for Faker.
Still waiting though. Xie does have ulti, but might be a bit of a far cry to try and take him down. Ambition though, roaming bot side actually might support here, although not too far extended given that the wave just reset. So just going to take the Krugs away, but it looks at things and maybe scout out a dive.
Yeah, playing around lane pressure this time. Prey and Gorilla finally have pushed up, so have to come in, hit the Krugs, get a bit of experience, then back away. Also there for a counter gank if needs be. Prey will leave lane. Get a bit of normalcy now. We calm down a little bit.
And again, Flackers will be back up soon. Faker's not too far away, so should be safe from any additional pressure. And Cuvée has kind of weathered a lot of early threat. A bit behind on CS right now, but has a good juicy wave to pick up here. See what 957 does on his first back. But MLXG hasn't really found an angle for that top lane, and Annie is 6, so certainly lots of pressure in these lanes if the jungler can find the right angle, but as of now, Korea, again, despite losing a lot early pressure-wise in mid and top, letting things settle back to normal.
Those watching at home, Annie is maxing W for just the ability to push, go for Q and the infinite mana. We're already kind of in a meta where, depending on how you go for your runes, you can get a lot of mana sustain. So the ability to control and push when needed, to control the top side and support the ability for MLXG to gank, because you can push up when the jungle looks to go. It's fine to max W, push in, and not really have the mana problems that traditionally earned their ugly head with that.
Yeah, and I think maybe our top lane matchup will get a little less exciting. 957 went for some early cooldown boots, so paired with Cosmic Insight should have a lot of usage out of his flash and actives. Cuvée on the other side being very responsible, boots and a Spectre's Cowl. So I think any potential action is going to calm down there in the top lane.
Read on that compared to, say, Merc Treads is that he expects to take a lot of damage trades, but not necessarily an all-in. Doesn't think the need at the CC reduction for this early part of the game is as valuable. So going to be just happy there. Cuvé's very inventive with his builds. He often goes very offensive with Gnar. Will build BF sword items, which is kind of crazy for other people to consider, but for this game especially, he's going to go for the magic resist and then reevaluate as the game goes on.
MLXG trying to get 6 though. Ambition back to his red buff. Maybe we'll be able to pick up one, but MLXG probably not going to let him. Should ding 6. Xie roaming up, and Ambition, he's going to get forced off here.
You can see Annie will be the first to react. Xie's already there. He has to give up the red buff. We have to see a collapse coming soon, and Gnar is reacting, so is Azir, but certainly first movements for China.
It's a good ward though. Wasn't able to get swept out thanks to the duration, so we'll stick around the red buff for a little while longer. Cuvée going to take out that spot of vision. And a bit of poke back from Faker onto Xie as he returns. MLXG though will get the red buff, and the plant I think was looking for it on the bottom side for Korea, but red buff, of course, MLXG has it again. So Ambition continuing to lose red buffs, and MLXG going to get his favorite thing. Maybe look top lane now.
Playing very defensively as expected though, so doesn't want to give up any early kills like he did on his last Gnar game.
Gonna give up some CS here though. Wave not there. 957 going in for a Lancer stun up the tip as MLXG finds a dunk post flash, and 957 still moving in. First blood on the horizon, and MLXG claims it.
Ends up being a trade kill though, Pastry Time, and that's with the jungler's attention invested as well. So you'd have to say advantage to Cuvee. The minions aren't pushed up either, so you won't even lose experience to the turret. Also had the mastery for the magic damage shield, you know, as the mini Hex Drinker. Null Zone, I believe it is, that really did help him out in that particular area. It took a little bit longer, and guess what? Just that little shield meant probably an extra turret shot and the death of 957.
Certainly against a champion like Annie, as looks like the Drake will be the take here, as Korea find a trade after Cuve's 1v1. Watch this one again though. It was close, like you said.
No Merc treads. Cuvee gets flash ulted. He'd already hopped away, but notice when the nullifying orb comes through here, the magic resist shield, 957, he's more aggressive than he is. He realizes, oh wait, we need a little bit more damage, takes the extra turret shot, and ends up being a trade. So small advantage Korea in all of that.
Definitely looking good there. Cuvee expends TP, 957 holds on to his though. But again, back in the bot side, Mako taking a turret hit as Uzi looks to extend the trade. Does have a tier, so no combat power there, but two longswords doing some work.
One of the reasons why we haven't seen as much Kalista, and people will wonder this, is that she's clearly not a combat AD carry. Much more often, you'll go either press the attack or fleet footwork, as we see in this particular game. The other thing that's really strong about Kalista, or one of the things she struggles with, is poke. If there is the long-range poke, she doesn't really have the way to answer that. It's about the all-in trades, less about the long-range trades. It's the Mana Moon. It's very much into lethality barriers. And in the laning phase, she just takes 300 damage chunks and isn't in range to answer.
Yep. And you can see reflected in the CS there, Uzi still holding up strong, with 20 ahead of his opponent as Shie waddles over left side to grab that blue buff. Still taking heat as Mako again getting damage onto Gorilla. Uzi was moved back into the safety of Tom Kench's belly. And again, with just no attention really at all being paid to this bot side of the map, Uzi and Mako can just play up for as long as they like.
I made a small mistake there. It's the lethal tempo, so
Which
about
is
getting
very
the
rare.
maximum attack speed and for the Ren sets in team fights. Small mistake here, but very, very important as the game goes on. Not going to be as relevant in the laning phase.
No, unfortunately not as good on this patch either.
No.
A little bit better on the current live, but makes sense for such an attack speed based champion like Kalista. 957 though, continuing to CS here. Cuvee actually able to apply a good amount of pressure here in that top lane, continuing to just play up, meeting the wave as soon as it comes. Even tanks a turret shot there just for a bit of fun.
Flash and cooldown, and like you mentioned before, the Hexa Flash available. Laning phase is a little bit different for the Annie. When she has it down, she doesn't have the hop like the Gnar does, so has to be a little bit more restrained in her laning phase. Hexa Flash and Escape doesn't work as reliably. Still very powerful on Annie because a lot of her engages are over walls, and Hextech Frustration, I believe, will help you get over walls and engage in much the same way. So Sona and also the Annie still going to be benefited with the Hextech.
Yep, just use it there as well. Was on cooldown briefly, used his ultimate, so did get some damage in onto Cuvee, but not nearly enough through Spectre's Cal, and now that Merc Tread's also completed. So very defensive early itemization here for Cuvee. And again, everything just kind of back to normalcy. Gold lead up for China, but not very much at all. 400. As you can see, some of the runes starting to tick over even those magical footwear for Ambition. There's actually GA flash off into Faker, MLXG with a knock, and there's the dunk! And Malzahar able to get a clean kill. Ult from Seth, not enough, as 957 commits his teleport to try and chase down Ambition.
It's a poor read there by Ambition in particular. Had no reason or no ability to answer. Now he's very deep in enemy lines, and pretty inevitably it's going to die, you'd imagine, but he's going to go for the Great Escape.
Certainly is. Actually maybe meets Cuvee here as 957 and Shie trying to corner Ambition once more. The 2v2 currently is going to be a little late. 957 with a blast cone over the wall, looking for the stun onto Ambition. Silence lands. 957, I think, just trying to zone him away. MLXG is here. Ambition, he's buying a lot of time, but not enough as Shie finally gets the kill.
It's just a matter of time there, Pastry Time, the moment that he dinked his head towards the enemy base, nowhere to escape to. Cuvee didn't have Mega Gnar, wasn't able to build up the rage as he made the transition to meet Ambition. Nothing he could do there. We're going to see the replay. Faker goes and tries to be first. Remember, he's been on the back foot this entire game. Malzahar comes into vision early. There was the ward there to spot him, but decisiveness from China compared to Korea, just fishing for an engage potentially onto MLXG, and the more decisive team very often finds the advantage.
And you mentioned kind of the love letter of the Annie here from the Chinese side as being something we haven't seen in a while. I think in general, double AP is not something we have seen, certainly in Vogue, since all the way back in Season 1. But you can see just how much pressure you can apply with Gold getting solo laners who have great engaged ultimates and an aggressive jungler. If China's plan is to play aggressive topside with MLXG and just use your very strong, robust bottom lane to ideally get ahead of your opponents, which is what has happened, moving around the map and just hunting down your opponents is the mid-game strategy.
And you think about as the mid-game will develop, what will happen, and very clearly, the plan here is you get control ward advantage, you get ward supremacy around an objective. Imagine face-checking Annie, Malzahar, all the different pick tools, just using the ultimate here for lane harass. It's 957. It is almost impossible to walk through warded areas as Korea, as the mid-game develops and we get into the 5v5.
Meiko in trouble, gets knocked back, still with the great health, ready to go. Uzi getting there as Gorilla gets eaten up, but does get out of her for a bit. Popping the ulti, I believe. Prey though is low. Gorilla gets back in onto Meiko. There's the red, takes him down, but MLXG's here. Looking for Prey. Prey does live through the onslaught. Korea answers first this time.
This time holding on to the Rend. Prey through exhaust as well, picked up the first kill. Casually hops over the Jarvan. Cataclysm stays alive, and it's the first bit of good news for Korea.
Completed Blade of the Ruin King helping out there for Prey, and now a turret is also in their eye. Should be able to take it down. Demolisher from Gorilla will help out. Might need one more wave, but it's here right on time. Uzi cannot save this alone, so Korea are going to take that first turret gold.
Although all the poking had happened in bot lane, the finished Blade of the Ruin King gave them a lot of options. Good read by Gorilla also. Used the headbutt. We talked about the face checks on the side of Korea. This time it was Meiko going for a face check. They had supremacy over the other areas of the map. This time, they did not. And although Meiko could use the Grey Health early, it's never really a good time to Grey Health against a Kalista.
Certainly not. As again, Prey up and around just lives on the other side as Faker swoops in to collect the next kill on MLXG. All of a sudden we're a little even, although another one coming down. Roman from the top catch. Faker with a great ultimate. The silence is enough. Electrocution from MLXG takes down the Azir.
Just enough damage. Faker had flash up. Probably would have lived if not for a final bit of damage. And the prize of the Infernal Dragon, even bigger for China.
That's a good prize. We'll be able to take that one down. Finally evening up the Drake count here as the tower did not fall to Cuvée. 957. Hoofing it back with those early cooldown boots as Prey might be caught out here. 2v3 though, Ambition is down, but Prey a little low with no flash. MLXG joins to even up parity on the man count now. Chain of Corruption is going to steal the rest of them there. GA is also trying to roam down. Ambition taking the brunt of the damage though, and that's going to call off the play.
Able to get defensive flashes out even though they had a member in the base and also Gnar in the top lane pushing. So getting the flash out there from MLXG will relieve some pressure from Faker, who's felt the brunt of it. We are so close to the precipice of what could be the biggest snowball moment in the game. Already outlined that if they get the control wards here, China, they will be able to take objective to control first the Rift Herald and then the Baron spawn very, very strongly. Vision falls behind, or if the vision is even, Kalista and Azir hitting 2 items needs no introduction. The team fight power at 2 items seems pretty strong for Korea if someone doesn't get blown up instantly. And so it feels like the game will swing wildly one way or the other, depending on how the vision really shakes out between the 17 and 22 minutes.
And I think looking on the Chinese side, I'm so glad I mentioned double AP earlier, because we have a Rush Rylite for 957 as that first item. You kind of always wanted one to help control the AoE teamfight you're expecting to play with, and 957's really running it all the way back old school as Cuvée in mini-Gnar form could be in a spot of bother, about to transform though. Should be safe.
The big mechanic to talk about there is the burn does AoE slow, is following Uzi.
Oh, Uzi, goodbye. Prey takes him down. And now Meiko looking to run away, but there's no turret to get safety to GA there. But MLXG with the dunk able to find it, and that was a successful dive. Meiko, though, needs to pop that Grey Health. Knock up there. Random might not be in time, but I think there's enough spears anyway. Meiko just can't go anywhere. Prey collects his 3rd kill.
Chase is insane from Alsa. The moment he had E to add to his suite of CC, Chase is down, so double kill extended there for Korea. Faker is even going to cheekily steal away the blue buff, so cascading advantages. Current may be taken in top side, but bot side is now run by Korea.
Should be traded soon as well. Top turret was so low from Kuve's earlier pressure, and Ambition and Faker are looking to take down this mid turret as well. And even the score there, TP backside, cancelled by the looks of things. Turret does go down. MLXG maybe trying to force something. 957 actually did make it. Excuse me.
Teleported in.
Yeah, no ulti. I don't think this is the best idea. Prey could be caught in isolation, but he's away as well.
Everyone backs away. Flash back up for 957, so doesn't have to rely on the Exaflash, and we'll back away. We get a moment to breathe. We're going to see the replay here. Remember, Uzi has no turret. He also has a poke build, and Gorilla, known for his Alistair, engages over a wall out of vision. And that was a very quick kill onto Uzi. And also get the picture-in-picture here. It's all about cutting the map, and because of the consistent slow on the Tibbers, it all started everything is back and alive.
All right, goodbye. GA, 1 ult, 1 kill. That's kind of the Malzahar MO. His Ambition is taken down in his own jungle. Looks like trying to even up the turrets. Game pace really accelerating here. That's going to be 3 for 2, and soon 3 for 3 as Kuve going to trade top.
I mean, I feel for the spectators, because the moment that if Annie and Malzahar are both alive, someone could die instantly at any point in the game. Such is the immense burst. They're pushing up here, looking for a second turret as well as Kuve. Maybe a lot slower pushing in the top lane.
Yep, early Leandries though for Shia is causing a lot of pain as Faker bore the brunt of a lot of Malzahar damage. Their Gorilla now pop the ulti and caught out, eaten by Mako. Gonna run down that ult duration. 957 looking for the restun. Gorilla got nowhere, good to go. Who's gonna get the kill? That's maybe the only question left remaining. Uzi, I think he wants it and he's gonna get it.
Ray did not have ultimate available to try to save his support there. Just had to leave Gorilla to die. Kuve should answer with the turret though, so a lot of trades going on here. Kills to both sides. It's a bit unsociable, but 1-for-1s everywhere, and the end result is a very slight gold lead to China.
We're looking to speed up again more, never mind. GA boss cones away. That was slick as Kuve bounces through the wolf camp but can't continue chase. And look, there's a ghost, just like you said.
You don't need to teleport. Once the laning phase is over, Ghost and Flash are the best friend of a Malzahar. Both blown, but of course the summon spell cooldown reduction coming through from the rune there is important to talk about. You're going to see the replay here. It looked like it was just going to be casual tete-a-tete, but Xie and Mako walk over, and doesn't matter how tanky you are, Ambition. Once the suppression comes down, you're dead.
It's never casual on this stage, Bubba Smithy. Never the encounter you want. So that's a kill there. Mako and Xie teaming up nicely. 957 continuing to push waves back in the right direction for his side. Kuve again done a great job on the side lane, now has Black Cleaver joining with the adaptive helm, so should be able to apply a good amount of pressure in one of those lanes.
And one thing I want to highlight is very accelerated in terms of turret kills in this game. At just 21 minutes, we have 8 turrets down, 4 on each side. So lots of long lanes, lots of slow pushes can be set up. Vision can be focused on one side, and teleports here because we have very deep lanes. There's a lot of gank paths for junglers and teleport users alike. Speaking of gank paths,
Abyssal Voyage, Prey suppressed! Oh no, goodbye! Timegame's able to grab that one, cancel that TP. Kuve does do so, but good timing as well. Infernal Drake up in 30 seconds. China continuing to snowball this mid game, or at least they're trying to.
I mean, Prey and Gorilla had so much control around bot side, but with things falling down, with 2 turrets going down, the landscape of the game changes very immensely. You cannot afford to be alone at this portion of the game against Malzahar and Annie. And because of Mako, they can close distance so fast. So Prey goes down, means control around the second Infernal of the game goes to the side of China.
And I kind of love the tension here between these two teams based on style. I mean, if China, with their comp and generally their playstyle, are looking to move around and get ganks, that's great when the map is open, but that is also true for a macro-heavy playstyle like you often see regionally in Korea. So I think the map favors both teams in different ways, and how they play it, of course, will be the difference.
Draw attention to the fact that Prey is actually not gone. The much expected Hurricane second. He's gone much more for the dueling build here, with moving away from that. Hasn't got a QS yet here either, but going Phantom Dancer suggests it's more about the single target. He'll probably go for a second attack speed, or I guess third attack speed item very soon, but because he has to itemize in the QSS, it slows down, getting full value out of lethal tempo. He needs to get the QSS, and it means his teamfight impact, the Ren set's going to be much more fundamentally single target with the opting into of the Phantom Dance.
Yep, going to take a little while longer to break the barrier on attack speed. 957 building up to his own Leandries. A combo in with Xie again. All that juicy AP damage is building up quickly. Of course, that second Infernal did go to China as well, so happy to have more damage given the comp they've built for themselves, and we'll turn our attention. Not just yet, I suppose, but Baron, of course, has to be thought about. Malzahar is excellent at doing Baron, so is Kalista. And given that there's no objective on the right side right now, see what pressure Cuvée can cause and which team gets something done first. Ambition, never safe here. Gets away with the Q, though.
Here in Abyssal Voyage.
Oh, it's topside. Oh, Bright, that's actually just rude. He even uses the anti-hold.
Bit of a celebration. Sure. Tibbers wanted to give Tibbers front row seats to another death on the side of Kalista. Like you say, the Baron threat is here. Remember, Tibbers can tank Baron for a long time. Between Malzahar and Tibbers, you take no damage from Baron. They could turn on it at any instant.
Gorilla knows too, checks it by using that Scryer's Bloom control ward in the back. Is going to be cleared out by Xie as Cuvée continues his party in the side lane, but this is not even at all. 957 can TP back if he needs, as MLXG was trying to find an engage there with his ultimate. But numbers not quite enough, and Prey is back in 5 seconds, so gonna have to back off from that early Baron play.
1 kill, that's all. No ability to rush down Baron. It's not a high Baron damage deal from the Varus either. It should be noted. It's not a Blade the Ruin King, the old build that we were seeing in previous patches, or a Rage Blade. It's very much more about the poke. So Baron's speed, they're not confident enough now to try and start it in the face of a teleport from Cuvée that we know now is down. So just going to be a kill and back away. It does mean that Korea can get vision down, but this is kind of what we saw against the LMS. It was a lot of kills, but Korea was able to control waves, and the actual ability to go further and further ahead required Karsa to kind of be a one-man army on the top side and stop Korea from playing 3 lanes. This is still a game that it's almost impossible for Korea to play 3 lanes against. We've seen 2 pick champions and a Tahm Kench means that people die very, very fast. That won't change even if you build some magic resist. So for now, it's all about the vision war. Can China get 5 wards down, 5 control wards, I should say, down around Baron, and basically say, hey Korea, come and face check because you're gonna die fast.
Tough ask as well versus the team, or a region I should say, with such immaculate vision control. Gonna do everything they can to look to defend. Here is Gorilla, pops a ward into the back of the Baron pit. Blue buff steal attempted, but Ambition moves MLXG off that. GA though here, so once again, when those 2 APs are floating around there, anybody else, you have to be careful.
Cuvé's build here, so respectful. QSS, Merc Treads, and also itemizing further into magic resist. So he is very much fully on board. We're just trying to slow down the inevitable kills that come through from the double AP. You think about how magic resist itemization has changed since the last time double AP was in the meta. Feels like we still had Runic Bulwark running around. That was how long ago the double AP comps were being run.
the nature running around, okay?
It was all saying words crazy here that are going to be lost on a lot of the new viewers, but magic resist itemization has changed a lot. Banshee Veil used to be tank item, no longer.
Certainly did. I think we lost them at Looper's Annie.
That's true. We lost them at Masters 3, Looper's Annie.
Well, a long way from the Stars War League, certainly, but China now pushing in through the midsection. Minute 50 to that next Drake. It will be a mountain, which could help breaking the turret parity. Korea already hold 1. As again, name of the game is pretty obvious here. Shove mid lane, and then faint pressure to whatever side of the map you want. That should be the left side here, as Baron is the big prize currently. But again, things really stalemated. Korea actually well within 2,000 gold. It's less than 1,500 currently as far as that difference goes, and that is not a lot given the current state of the game.
Double Adaptive Helm means that both Ambition and Cuvée can face check and be confident that, well, there'll be a few seconds there before they go down. The QSS means that the Gnar can try to be deceptively able to escape from some of these face checks, but face checking will become inevitable as all the ward clearing continues to go on for China.
I like the idea of getting a non-binary number worth of seconds to live.
I mean,
this sort of
I wanted to put down a number, but you start adding up the damage and it gets lower and lower, so still worrying even with the magic resist stacking.
Prey does have his QSS as well to join Cuvée, so a little safer there.
Worth noting that in this lane, finally, there's no insta-kill potential, but still a lot of trade damage.
Yeah, this bear is a problem. Reapplying Airy, Cuvée goes mega, smacks it down with a wallop, but still chasing with the Rylai's. Again, the collapse here could look mid. Prey's got to be careful. Uzi looking for something. Gorilla now in isolation. Gets ulted. Prey gets in a range, but that might not be safe as well. Pulls him out to safety, and that's just enough.
Always so interesting to see which cooldown is used first. Will it be the Unbreakable Will, or will it be the Fate's Call? You can tell they're not thinking about engaging, rather to use the Fate's Call than the Alistar ult, and they know that Gorilla may be tasked with walking into the Baron pit and not dying. They hold onto that cooldown, but they give away any hope of engagement.
It's a bait, and they're looking for it now. Ambition can be taken down to breath, and dies instantly as Uzi collects credit for the kill. 957 gonna TP in as Mako eats Gorilla to look for that second kill. A stun follows in, a silence joins in, and Uzi grabs the double.
Very smart, very decisive. This has been the story for China today. They turn on to Baron. They take no damage from this epic monster. It's gonna go down, and there's nothing Korea can do.
Certainly not. Damage is there. Kuve gonna try and get the consolation Mountain Drake as Baron goes the way of the Chinese All-Stars.
Wasn't joking, Pastry Time, trying to face check Baron against Malzahar Annie. One is usually enough, two. It's just overkill, but it gets China the big advantage they've been craving for the past 10 minutes or so. They're going to push up with the Baron buff as well. Those turrets was 8 down a while ago, no more for a while, but they'll back away, pick up a purchase, and feel good about where they're poised in this game.
Yep, time to reset, so watch this one again. Just no safe spots here for Ambition.
He's got the adaptive helm, and he thinks, well, it's ticking magic damage, maybe I'll be fine. He dies real fast. This is why I didn't want to put a number on it, Pastry Time. Nothing he can do. Alistair kept the Unbreakable Will. Base Core might have been more useful for him as that transpired, but had to choose between two bad decisions.
Yep.
GA now finished on MLXG. He's aggressive usually, but now he's certainly got that extra kick up the bum to go in for the initiation next time.
Doesn't need a lot
Everyone's
more.
an initiator, Pastry Time.
Kuve gets knocked up, certainly that's the way they like it. Dunk in there from John.
Oh!
Oh my goodness!
Well, he couldn't build any armor. Pastry Time was build a magic resist, so that Mininar dies very fast for 29 minutes. The extra lifting of the two Drakes helping China. They're going to keep pushing up, and Korea on the back foot, eerily similar to that game against the LMS.
Well, a miss there from Uzi on the Chain of Corruption, but certainly the train is not slowing down. Looks like bottom lane is the current point of assault, although Mako and GA accompany those minions to the mid-tier 2. 5v4 for 20 more seconds.
Even though their comp is largely a round pick, the Varus with this much lethality can do plenty of poke to complement what his team members have been doing earlier in this game. So keep pushing up, poking out the members of Korea. Soon to be grouped as 5 seconds till QV comes back.
He is back, but Shie, after all the damage to Ambition earlier, has a 10-stack Dark Seal and a Rabadons as his last purchase. So again, not running out of damage anytime soon. 957 with the Zhonya's instead opting to get a bit more aggressive, as he'll likely be in the face of his opponents. And that turret falls. Korea looking to defend their inhib turrets now.
They'll be able to find a team fight they can win. Still no Hurricane, remember. Lots of defensive itemization from Prey. No armor, though. To harass from Uzi is still massive. This game has not been around the superstar AD carry from China. It's been about the decisiveness of both the solo laners, teammates,
Yep.
Team WE.
957 did take some damage, but dipped back into the jungle to heal it up and stole the red buff once more. Again, they're just going to go for it. Ambition gets stunned up. The chains do move out. Gorilla trying to disrupt the other line, but Kuve gets assassinated by MLXG's Jarvan. Prey dying to poke, basically, as MLXG's going to try and chase him down. Not able to quite find him, but Tibbers looking for the flank as Faker is forced to flash an ulti. The Tomcats back into the team, but CA unstoppables. He takes down Gorilla. Ambition also goes down flashing as he dies to MLXG. And Faker left alone to try and outplay, but the GA is all he's gonna get.
There's just so much damage on the side of China. Seer may be able to shut down the Jarvan, but it's only a feel-good moment for Faker, not for his team. They're gonna try and end right here.
Yep, it's gonna go straight for it. Baron buff still ticking away for 15 seconds. The Chinese All-Stars looking to break it here in game 1. Faker, goodbye, ace from Tomcat as Mako able to grab it, and they'll take the first Nexus in what should be quite the best of 3.
From 2015 with love.